few minutes, but we take you through a roundup of the courts, not everything that has happened. Always, that's our disclaimer. It's just a few of the cases that we've picked up for you. So I'm just going to take you through a few cases that we have picked for you this week, and after that, then we can get right into our discussion. So I'll start with the first case that was in the courts this week. A school teacher is going to serve 20 years for defilement. A 45-year-old primary school teacher who was found guilty of defiling a 13-year-old pupil in 2016 was sentenced to serve 20 years in jail. Frederick Mwangi was sentenced by Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate David Ndunge after the prosecution had proved its case against him. So this guy who was and was found guilty of defiling a 13-year-old child who was under his care. He had accommodated this class 6 student in his house in March 2016 at Mathare North in Nairobi. So while passing the sentence, the magistrate jailed the teacher with the sentence, saying it is the minimum for such an offense as provided by the law. The teacher has 14 days to make an appeal. So he has been sentenced to 20 years for defilement of a 13-year-old child. The next case that also made quite some noise on our platforms on social media was about the Ranalo, the Kosewe case. A city trader accused of attempting to kill Ranalo Foods restaurant owner William Osewe by shooting him following a fight over a woman in 2016 was sentenced to 23 years in imprisonment. This is after the prosecution proved its case beyond reasonable doubt that he committed the offense. Tom Boyer was sentenced by Milimani Chief Magistrate Martha Mutuku on Wednesday after considering the probation report tabled in court. I think there was a point in time we talked about probation and how the court sometimes refers to it as they go through your case, and this one was considered in this case. So while giving the ruling, the magistrate said, "I have considered the probation report tabled before me and noted that the accused Tom Boyer never showed any remorse of his offense. The court also considered the impact of the offense on the victim, Mr. Osewe, who was and still is adversely affected by the act." Boyer was sentenced to 20 years for the attempted murder and 3 years for wounding his victim. I think we watched Kosewe on TV the other day saying how this really changed his life. He's not able to walk or do things on his own. So a lot for him has changed because of this incident, again, sadly, over a woman. A warrant of arrest has been issued in the Malili Ranch fraud case. It was issued for Sergeant Joseph Kiragu, who failed to attend court as a witness in an anti-corruption case against David Ndolo, Leonard Chania, and Julius Mbao without giving any explanation for his absence, despite receiving court summons. The prosecution counsel applied for the arrest warrant upon being satisfied that all steps had been taken to serve the officer with the summons to attend court, and no satisfactory response has been received for the non-appearance. We also had this on our social media pages, and some discussion arose from it. So these guys refused to go and testify in this anti-corruption case. Ndolo, Chani, and Bao are charged fraudulently defrauding Malili Ranch Limited, causing the property of Malili Ranch Limited to be sold to the Government of Kenya Ministry of Information and Communication without a shareholders' resolution. So we'll follow that through to just tell you how it goes. The other story that we had for you today is about the Anglo Leasing case. The ODPP is dissatisfied by the court ruling in the Anglo Leasing case. The case was DPP versus Deepak Kamani and 6 others for failure to admit evidence obtained through mutual legal assistance from Switzerland. The office will make the necessary application to overturn the decision. The ODPP will make the necessary application to review the ruling in the Triton case, DPP versus Yagnesh Devani and 5 others. This is a different one, in which the court declined to allow further disclosure of more documentary evidence by the prosecution. So these are 2 cases. This one DPP versus Deepak, and this one DPP versus Yagnesh Devani, where the DPP is set to appeal on the court's decision. In the case, the Rashmi and Deepak Kamani have been charged alongside former government officials Joseph Magari, Joseph Onyonka, and Dave Mwangi. They have denied charges of conspiracy to defraud the government through the Anglo Leasing contracts, and the case has been adjourned to October 8th. So we still follow that through and tell you how that goes. Finally, we also tell you what has been happening at the DPP. And this week, the DPP Nurdin Haji hosted an EU delegation led by Her Excellency Ambassador Henriette Geiger, I hope I got that right, at his office to discuss areas of mutual collaboration in the justice system, such as economic crimes and counter-terrorism. These took place in this office. And also they discussed asset recovery. So this was the EU delegation, and you can see there's the SPP, the DPP, and the ambassador, and others also in the picture. ODPP has partnered with the EU in Kenya through UNODC, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, and program for legal empowerment and policy PLEAD in the development of policies and guidelines, all for justice initiative and community dialogues, such as and some capacity building programs that they do with the UNODC. So this is all we had for you today. That is what has been happening at the ODPP and in the courts today. And we always say, and as just as a rule and a disclaimer, that we can't cover everything that happened in the courts, but you can just talk about a few, though a lot has been going on. So we our show today, and this week has been Customer Service Week. I know most of you, I think I have received enough SMSs and messages from organizations and the businesses telling me Happy Customer Service Week. People have become quite passionate about customer service, business more so. But now today we want to discuss this from a government point of view. So customer service is critical, and that goes without saying for all organizations now, including government. You see, in the private sector, customer service affects sales. Customer service affects revenues. Poor customer service can cause you to close your business. But this time we want to talk about how government uses customer service to serve us, the citizens. So the ball is on the other side. We are now the owners of the business, so to speak, because of our taxes, and we expect services from the government. So on our show today, I have two ladies who are experts on this topic, and they do this on a daily basis. So I want us to just discuss about the power of service, which has been the theme for this week, for this year's Customer Service Week. So I'm going to allow them a few minutes to introduce themselves, then you can get on with the show. You're definitely welcome to comment, to follow us on our social media platforms. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you have a question, and we can see how best to respond to you. Feel free also to tag your friends along, and let's see how government does customer service. I bet this is actually a first for most of the discussions that we've seen about customer service, a government agency trying to do this. So karibuni ladies, I'd like first of all for you to introduce yourself. Karibu Purity.
Thank you. My name is Purity Mushiri. I'm a Customer Relations Officer in charge of Customer Care Desk at ODPP headquarters, that is at Ragat House.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Karibu sana. How long have you been doing this?
I have done this slightly over 6 years now.
Wow.
Yes.
Expert. You are now an expert in this. Karibu sana. Let me not call you Grace.
Good morning, Anita.
Yes.
My name is Maureen Manessa,
Yeah.
a prosecution counsel. Currently, I'm attached at the Complaints and Compliments Division. I've been a prosecutor to now close to 8 years, but I've been at the Complaints and Compliments Division this is my 2nd year.
Oh, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Nyinyi ndio ma-expert wa leo. So this week has been about the power of service.
Yeah.
We have been celebrating with the world about customer service.
Yes.
And like I was saying at the introduction, it has become quite important, even now for government agencies, to practice good customer service. But before we start as to why ODPP is very passionate about customer service, can we just make a distinction as to why it is the distinction between customer service and client service? Why are we calling why would you refer to our customers as clients at the ODPP?
You know, in the DPP, we are dealing with professions. Our mandate is to all services to our clients. That's why we are referring to professional service. That is why we are referring to them as our clients.
Clients.
According to my understanding, I believe when you're talking of customers, it's more of providing goods and services. Providing
purely services.
Yeah. That's why we're referring to them as our clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Purity, who are your clients?
ODPP has various clients. Our client, or rather they that come to the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, number one, they have a right of provision of quality services. Now, our clients vary. We have external publics and internal publics. In our external publics, we are talking about like members of the public. The members of public comes in various categories. We have those who are coming to us to either follow up on the already cases that are already within ODPP. Others are coming to seek advice and or rather raise a complaint that they need our services on. But we also have those who are coming to us because they are victims of a crime out there and they need the services of ODPP to get justice. Our clients also come because they need to get other services. For example, with the current pandemic, most people have lost jobs. We have members of the public coming to ODPP because they want that service being provided by our human resource division
So
management.
they're looking for jobs.
They are looking for jobs. We have other members of the public coming to us because they want to engage ODPP with the procurement related services. So you find we cut across. But amongst them also we have our stakeholders and the partners with whom we work with together so that we are able to deliver on our mandate. So they cut across. Yes.
Oh, quite interesting. Quite interesting. So, Madam Maureen,
Yes.
we talk about customer service in the private sector because it affects sales, it affects our revenues. But why should the ODPP care so much about this? Because it's not about revenue or sales. Why should we care about customer service?
No, as an office, we have core values that we want to impart on the members of the public. One of our core values is professionalism, transparency, accountability, integrity. So those are the values that the DPP wants to have them implemented so that at least the public can have confidence with our office. Yeah.
Okay. So how does this align to your strategy goals? Of course, there are strategy goals for the DPP or for the ODPP. First of all, what are the strategy goals and how do they align to say customer service?
As an office, one of our strategic goals is to improve the services and confidence in the prosecution services. You know, so that's why the DPP has through this the DPP has tried. He has established departments within the office. One of the departments is the Department of Inspectorate and Quality Assurance. That is where the Complaints and Compliments Division falls. Our main mandate is to provide efficient service to the members of the public in the criminal justice system. Yeah.
Why is it complaints and compliments?
We receive in the division. We receive compliments.
Like what now?
They bring complaints when we serve them, and they are contented with our services. Some bring their compliments. We also have compliments for the services that we provide for them.
Do you get more compliments?
We have several compliments.
Because I gather for government, you get a lot of entitlement from us citizens. We're entitled to services from you. So I'd imagine you get a lot of complaints more than compliments.
Yeah,
is that true?
It's true. It's true.
What sort of complaints do you get?
We get the complaints are broad. Basically, they bring criminal complaints. There are those who come with civil complaints. There are those who complain against poor services by other organizations. For instance, there are those who make complaint against police officers. Maybe the investigations are not being carried out the way they want them to be carried. There are those who have labor issues. They bring their complaints to us. There are those who have succession issues. There are those who have issues with advocates. The complaints are far-fetched. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just talk a bit about the mandate of the ODPP. Which mandate fits into this customer service, and what sort of complaints should you be seeing based on your mandate?
The mandate of the ODPP as provided for under Section 154 of the CPC of the Constitution. Basically, we are aimed to deal with criminal matters. You know, we are supposed to deal with matters that are criminal in nature, not civil in nature.
What is the difference?
When we are talking of matters that are criminal in nature, we are talking of crimes, the ones that are initiated from the police station. You know, things to do with crime. But when we are dealing with matters that are civil in nature, these are matters to do with claims. Maybe you are employed, your employer has not paid you. Now you are seeking redress from your employee. That is a civil matter.
Do you deal with those ones?
No, that's not within our mandate. Ours is purely criminal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sort of complaints do you get, Purity?
We have where our client will come and say, I raised a complaint and you have not responded. But when you do a follow-up, actually, we have done a response, especially from the complaint division. But the matter came as a civil matter. So what our complaint and complement division officers did is to forward the matter to the relevant agency that will handle it and copy to the complainant so that he or she is able to understand this matter is outside ODPP mandate. Therefore, you need to deal with this agency. They are the ones who will follow up.
So you do that on behalf of this client?
Yes, once they bring the matter to ODPP, the complaint and complement division will now forward the complaint to the relevant agency, but they will also copy the complainant so that he or she is able to understand where the matter has been referred to so that they can do a follow-up with them to get assistance.
Okay.
Yes.
That happens a lot?
Quite often we receive that. Number of times they are able to understand, but others will not understand. This matter is already in court. DPP must deal with it. So we have those who feel that it is the DPP who can handle anything and everything that is within the courts of this country, and therefore you find yourself now sitting down and actually explaining what is ODPP and how does ODPP work. Yes.
Do you think a lot of the things you get is because people don't understand the mandate?
Sometimes yes, but that at other times also they come and express displeasure of how they have been handled in other areas. So when they come and they find where there is a public office which has a prosecutor on duty willing to sit and listen to them, they actually end up coming so that they can say everything that is within their heart. So you'll find the team that is in complaint and complement division sometimes receiving and handling matters that are not within ODPP, but somebody has come and they need to listen. Yes.
Okay, so I know we see a lot of these complaints even on social media.
Yes.
And we demand that the DPP himself, Nurdin Haji, deals with my case. Is that possible?
No, it is not possible. Because number one, ODPP is in all 47 counties and several sub-counties. So actually, as an office, we expect our client to abide by the procedures of the office, which is if you're within Kakamega County and that is where your matter is, please don't come to Endikota. Deal with our ODPP county, Kakamega County. Trust the office processes and the officers that are on the ground. Go have a discussion with them. Last year, that is the year 2020, ODPP launched a decision to charge, whereby now the decision to charge that is made by our prosecutors cuts across the board, whether you are in Kakamega County, whether it is a prosecutor in Endikota, there are guidelines on how they will do it. Therefore, you don't need to come to Endikota to demand or to insist the DPP himself must see your case. DPP has ensured that members of the public, members of this beautiful nation, our lad Kenya, that they receive services of ODPP where they are. You don't have to travel all the way to Nairobi. No.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Madam Maureen, mali yetu, I am a citizen. You are the government. What are my rights? We are very, we know our rights. Mali yetu.
Our clients have a right in this office.
Yes.
They have a right to be listened. They have a right to access to information within our office. They have a right to have their cases or their matters handled by us. You know. They have a right to take their complaints at any, as Purity has said, our officers have been devolved. They have a right to take their complaints at any particular ODPP office within that are countrywide. They don't necessarily have to come to Nairobi. Yeah, those are their rights.
Mali yetu.
Yes.
So you're there to serve us.
Yeah, we are there to serve them.
Do you because I think again from a private sector perspective, the customer is always right. Is it the case here?
No, it's a two-way thing, you know. They may be having issues, yes, but after we've heard their complaints, after we've listened to them, then we advise them according to how their matter can be handled. It's not a matter of being right, you know.
Is that thing driven by profits? Customer is always right because you're afraid to lose revenue. Sindio? So now it's not the case.
It's not about revenue. As it's all about professionalism and quality service providence. Yeah.
Okay. So you think you can come here and you're wrong and you're given the correct...
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You might be misinformed. So when you come here, we give you proper guidance and we advise you, this is how you can handle your issue. You don't necessarily have to have it handled by us, we'll refer you to the relevant agency that can assist you with their issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you normally engage your customers? How do your clients reach you?
So
they reach us in several ways. First, in writing. We really encourage put your complaints in writing.
PO box, I'm gonna my email.
We have several ways. You can send us via PO box. If you're far away and there is no ODPP station near you, you can send via that. If you're within ODPP office, please do also a handed delivery to the office where it is received and stamped, and you have your copy that shows that you served us. You can send us via email. We have several of them. You can also make a phone call. Yes, to have a one-on-one discussion. But in all this, we ask our client, please make sure you reveal your identity and also give us your contact, because that is the only way we can have a two-way communication. Because when you bring us your complaint, then we respond, and we respond in writing. Where do we send? Yes, how do we reach you?
What if it is I'm trying to be a whistleblower?
If I can comment on that, if I can add on what Pri just said, we also do face-to-face interview, because you find we have an open door policy. So you find clients, there are those who know where our offices are at NSSF, so they walk in. So such clients, we do face-to-face interviews with them. But with this COVID, we are trying to limit. We encourage them to do letter writing or sending emails. So talking of whistleblowers, they normally write their letters, anonymous letters. They don't leave their contacts. So as a division, we are proposing, we don't reveal identities of whistleblowers.
Yeah.
So we propose when they're bringing their complaint to us, they can give us contact. When we are responding, we'll respond to them. Much as we'll be responding to the relevant agency that tackles the issues, we also need to do a response to them. We give them a breakdown. This is what we are doing in regards to your complaint. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, on what Maureen has touched on, you find ODPP is committed and guided by our core values. One of them is integrity, where there is honesty, ethics, and confidentiality. And that is what she's saying, that when we are sending, maybe a whistleblower has sent us something and we need to forward it to the relevant authority that needs to handle it. We will keep the confidentiality within ourselves in achieving in relation to our core value, which is now integrity. And also we bring the aspect of team player. The reason why we are referring to another agency is because we are working together. We have the collaboration with our various stakeholders and partners. Yes.
Okay, quite interesting. So how do they reach you? You've said they can reach you. What's the email? What's the telephone number?
Yeah, basically, we have different means on which they can reach us. We have a postal address. They can send their complaints by post. We have an address, PO box.
As she's looking at that, do you also look at complaints on social media? Do you act on them?
Yes, we do. Through our communication division, we look at the ones that have been posted and in liaison to the prosecutors that we have in our executive secretariat. Then they are able to be sent to the relevant, maybe department that should be able to address them. So we look at them.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, when you're the customer care officer, you are like the first line of defense.
Yes.
What is this that you want the public to know? What is this thing that we get wrong when we deal with the ODPP? Because of the complaints you get, you must know, yani hawaelewi hii kitu. What is that one thing you want people to understand about the mandate of the ODPP?
One is that it's not everything that ODPP will do. But when you come, be willing to listen when you find the person who will receive you and explain. You come just like we expect them to, the responsibility of our client. One of them is to be polite. So you come and we sit, have a discussion. I hear what you're saying, and then we explain. This is not within ODPP. However, this is how you can get assistance, and this is where you can go. Number two, we have our laid down procedures. For example, why you find our prosecutors are in court all over. Now, when a complainant or even relatives of the accused, they are in court, they get to see our prosecutors. And at that point, they even get to know their names. And then later on, you find the same individuals now coming to ODPP, and at that point, they are practically demanding to see that particular prosecutor. No, that is not the procedure for ODPP. The reason why the DPP has ensured we have a division of complaint and complement division is so that they can address such matters whereby they act as the link between you, the complainant, and the office or the officers dealing and handling your respective matters. So they have been mandated purely to assist members of the public by ensuring they can give them how far are we with your matter, when will you get your feedback. We have that communication, but not the individual prosecutor handling the matter. No, it is through our prosecutors based in complaint and complement division. So sometimes you find people come and they come with a name. I want this particular person, or they got a response. Our prosecutors respond and there is a name. So you come with the name, you want this person. Yeah, it is not possible because these are our prosecutors who are quite busy out in court. So we cannot have them having interaction with the people they are handling their cases. And that is why we have our complaint and complement.
What if someone
division.
is adamant they have to deal with the boss himself, the DPP himself?
Unfortunately, yes, we meet them. They are there and they make those demands. We sit down and make an explanation. And then we get for them who can assist. Because also sometimes you find it is actually not a complaint that they are raising that need to be handled. It is like I said, it is a procurement related service that they need to engage ODPP with. But they come with, they must see the DPP. So at that point, I as the customer relations officer, I have the responsibility of explaining. Then after that, we have to go through, there is the procurement laws that govern. We have our procurement division that is in charge of this. And there are processes that are followed. Yes, sometimes we can engage somebody from procurement to have a word with them. Other times it is information that is readily available, which we provide, and we tell them how they can engage with us and what process and what protocols when we have tenders out there and how can they engage. We have just recently ended up, we had done an advert where we had asked the office and asked members of the public interested in working with us. So the advert went out. Members of the public have expressed their interest to work with ODPP by submitting the application. But audit recruitment is a process that is within our human resource division department. So every day you find people are coming. When are we getting a response? It is a process. And just like we put the advert out there when we were advertising to say the positions and the requirement and what we expect from you to bring us, it is the same way. Once we are done, we also send the information out there from the website. Yes, you get to know all these things. But now you know, now people keep on coming. So we have to keep on explaining as you come. So when you come and you demand it is the DPP, we have to sit down and have a discussion. Yes.
Good. You talked about the rights of the responsibility of the client.
Yes.
And one of them is politeness.
Yes.
And I keep insisting that when we come with a Malietu tag, we are not very polite.
Yes.
But what are the other responsibilities of your clients? What do you expect of them?
As we said, we really would want to know who we are dealing with. Identity is very key because, as we said, more often than not, we work with the documentations. So we need to know, you're telling us this, who are you? As we talked about our core value and the confidentiality aspect, we will not reveal who you are, but for us, we must know, so that we can know who we are dealing with, and then also a way of us getting in touch with you later on. How do we continue with, because this is not a PAP thing. You don't come and get a response there and then. There are processes to be followed. So as we follow these processes, eventually we'll get in touch with you. Who do we communicate with? Yes.
Okay. So what are the ODPP committee? Oh, you got the contacts?
Yeah, I have them.
Yeah.
They can send their email. We have 2 emails. We have info@odpp.go.ke. We also have an email, publiccomplaints@odpp.go.ke. We have an office line, 0734 93 90 48. I'll repeat. We have a phone line, 0734 93 90 48. Those who are sending correspondence through post office, we have a postal office address. It's PO Box 3071 00100. I'll repeat, 3071 00100. Then they can also send their complaints through the Facebook page. We equally have a Twitter handle.
They slide into the DM.
Yes.
If it is sensitive.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what should the clients expect from ODPP in terms of commitment?
Yeah, they should be committed to free prosecution service. As an office, we provide free prosecution service. We don't demand for fees for us to provide for them services. No, they should be committed. For us, we
just a minute, just back up a bit. What does that mean, free prosecution service? I walk in here and say I want prosecute on
talking
my
of
case.
free prosecution service. Once their matter has been taken to the police station, they are the witnesses. Complainants, their complainants come witnesses. So when they take their matter to the police officer, once the investigation has been done and the file has been forwarded to our end, we will do for them the case. We'll prosecute on their behalf freely.
So if I have a case, I'm just trying to break this down for the member of public who may not really get how this works. If I come to you and say I'd like this to be investigated, you will send it to the police?
Yes, we have interagency collaboration. Yeah. So if you come to me, you say I have this problem, I need it to be investigated. As an office, we will do a letter to the relevant agencies. For instance, the National Police Service, we'll write to them.
Yes,
a client has come to our office and these are the issues that he has. Kindly do an investigation. Once you're done with the investigation, forward the file to us and we see if the matter will proceed to court or further advise the client. If it's a matter to do in there are those that deal with for instance anti-corruption matters. We refer them to EACC, do an investigation. Once you're done,
maybe this is a point again we repeat as always, the ODPP does not investigate.
We don't investigate. No, we don't. We only prosecute.
Okay.
So once an investigation has been done, the file has been forwarded to us.
What happens when the file is forwarded to you?
When the file is forwarded, we review, we look at the evidence that is in that file. If it is conclusive, then the matter will be forwarded to the court. If there are areas that have not been covered, we take back the file to the investigative agency and we ask them cover this area. If there are documents that are needed, exhibits, and the client has not given them, we advise the client bring forth these documents. They're part of our exhibits. So once you have brought them, they're put in the file. Now we are good to go. Now the prosecution takes off. Have
you found that this is one of the areas of the bone of contention normally when it comes to these cases? Because I believe the evidence I have is enough. But then you as a prosecutor, you come back and tell me it is not enough. How do you deal with such cases when somebody says mmekataa tu kuangalia evidence na ndio hiyo iko kwa video, for example? How do you explain to a lay person like me about the evidentiary test? We normally do a face-to-face. We guide them. This is the procedure. This is what it entails for us. Because we don't want to take cases to court. It is involving, you'll have wasted your time. At the end of the day, we get an acquittal. We want to save you this hassle. So we'll guide you through the process. We'll guide you through the process, then you're good to go. You're good to go. Okay, again, you get to court and you get to court with your nice file and say we have all the evidence against this, but then the case is thrown out. Then you get a complaint saying nyinyi mulifika huko ikaharibika, kesi imepotea. What do you tell a person like that? Because then maybe this is a point you have to explain to people. You are not, there's the judiciary now, they have their role. Yes. So what you see is not maybe what they see, right? Yes. Yeah. We have different, as we had said, we have different stakeholders in the justice system. We have the judiciary, we have the probation, we have the children's department, we have the national police, So on our part, once we are done, we take it to the judiciary. If the judiciary makes a decision, and on our part, we feel that we really tendered our evidence. So it means if we are not satisfied and the case does not go the way we wanted it, we'll move to the next court. That's why we say there's a right to appeal. Now we'll move to the appeal. If it does not go through, now we'll advise the client, maybe we can't deal. Whatever we did, Do you get such problems? Like people don't understand how the criminal justice system works, so they clog your space because they don't understand what the ODPP should be doing?
Yes, actually, as she was explaining, at that point when the office has forwarded a file to the investigative agency, you see, ODPP does not have the control of how long the file will take before it comes back to ODPP. But you find now the client keeps on insisting, nyinyi ndio mko na file yangu ama mnachelewesha file. So it really takes time to explain and say, once we have sent the file for investigations, we have to wait for them to send it back. You get. So sometimes they don't really get to understand. And yes, as she says, they have gone to court. We get people who come and say, kesi yangu ilifika na ikatupwa because you prosecutors or your people did not work.
Yeah.
That is now where again we come and we engage them by explaining, as Maureen has just said. Yes.
Okay. I was looking at the service charter.
Yes.
And there's a commitment you have to the public. There is the stakeholders you've talked about, and there's something else towards the tail end of the document about the service delivery standards. You know, like the services of undertaking criminal prosecution service. Is there a timeline?
Once they've been taken to court.
Yeah.
Now,
do you have control of that?
No, we cannot. We go as per the court's diary.
Diary,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And then facilitation of witnesses and victims?
Facilitation, basically that is the role of the judiciary. They have the funds. As an office, I'm not so sure if we have that provision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then advising investigating agencies on criminal justice matters. Those are the services you provide, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
And then now the question is there a timeline? Because there's always that discussion of justice delayed is justice denied. So as customer service standards, people expect to see that there's timelines against the services you provide. So when you say you're going to talk to investigative agencies, is there a timeline for it?
No, that's where we're facing a challenge, because you find that a file has been brought on our end. We make recommendations, go and cover this, then we take back the file to the investigative agency. So when the file is taken there, it's not brought back properly. It's when the clients come to us, my file was brought from the DCI, what is the position? We do a follow-up on our end. We discover that this file was dealt with. It was dealt with by a counsel in our office, and it was taken back to the investigative agency. Now the investigative agency has not yet covered the areas, and they have not summoned the client. The client is not even aware of what is happening. Now you see, it brings
there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Okay, so when someone sends a complaint via email or whatever, how long before you respond to them?
For the email, they are responding to
3 days. We acknowledge within 3 days.
Yes, we acknowledge that we have received it.
We've received.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are supposed to respond to it with we have a time frame 21 days.
21 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I was just looking at that in the service delivery charter, and you have listed, and I think when this document is public, then people can see your commitments to the clients that you serve. So maybe the other thing maybe we need to discuss is can government agencies really achieve good customer care or client service standards?
Yes,
is it possible?
Is very possible.
It is.
Or is it difficult?
Possible.
Do you think you're there?
Yeah, we are almost there. We are not yet there, but we are almost.
What are the challenges?
The challenges that we face may be communication challenges within.
Within? What are the challenges with the external publics?
The challenges, they expect us to act promptly. They don't give us time. You know, someone's complaint has been brought. He or she expects an instant answer. It's not possible. We have channels that we are following. Yeah, when you bring.
I think because again we wear that tag I keep saying of mali yetu, which is our taxes at work. So
there
we
are
need
channels
to see
that we follow.
Yeah.
There are channels, there are divisions within the office, there are departments within the office. Your complaint might be touching on anti-corruption. We have an anti-corruption department within the office. So when you bring your complaint to us, it will be screened at the DPP's office. By the way, when all complaints are brought, they pass through the DPP's office first.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them. They must go to the DPP's office. The screening is done there now.
So whether I get to see him or not,
it has
my
to pass
file
through
has,
his it has to pass through his office.
Oh.
Before they are distributed to different departments.
Oh.
You know? Yes.
Oh wow.
So when they are screening and they realize this complaint touches on anti-corruption, the complaint will be taken to the anti-corruption department. This complaint is touching on county affairs. The complaint will be taken to the county affairs department. You know, this complaint is touching on the general public. That one will be forwarded to the complaints and complaints division. As we deal with public complaints, yeah, the ones that are that have not gone through the investigation stage. The ones that have not gone through the investigation stage. Yeah, maybe they're seeking advance. I have this problem. How can I be assisted? Now we advise them from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe what I would add, as the Office of Director Public Prosecutions, we have our clarion call, mashtaka yenye haki na usawa. For us to achieve the haki na usawa, it's where she's talking of we have to follow that process. Now, where we get the challenge is where people want instant may not work because we have to engage other stakeholders within the criminal justice system.
But we live in an instant generation.
Unfortunately, it's not everything that can be achieved instantly as they would want to.
So, how else can you improve standards here? What would you want to see?
Yeah, you know, excellent service delivery is actually a continuous process. And for us, our expectations from our client is for them to give us feedback. Yeah, the gray areas that we need to cover and to improve on. You know, give us your compliment if you feel we have done well. Give us your suggestions. Yeah, tell us where your expectations were not met. Tell us where you are dissatisfied with our services, so that now we see which areas do we achieve. And you do that through some of the things that channels that Maureen just mentioned, but we also have suggestion boxes where you can drop your suggestion. I wasn't happy, or this is not what happened, or, you know, tell us. You can also make a call and say, my expectation was this, but it was not met. For us now to sieve through and see which areas do we actually need to improve on. As I said, ODPP, we have both external and internal publics. Part of our internal publics, it is we ourselves, the staff within ODPP. The moment I walk in our human resource division department, to make an inquiry or to make a consultation, at that point I am their client. My expectation is short of excellent customer experience from them. And that is the same thing even with our external publics. When you come to us, you feel we have not delivered to your expectation, please let us know so that we know how do we improve. Or we can also engage you, probably you misunderstood us. It is the instant result that you wanted and we didn't deliver instantly because we needed to engage other stakeholders. Now also be open. Let us have an open and a two-way communication. Yes.
Very important, especially the feedback bit.
Yes.
So these boxes are in your offices?
Yes, they are.
Do you open them?
Yes, we do. We do open them.
That's quite interesting. So maybe as we wind up this discussion, because it's normally meant to be an hour long and we've done an hour's discussion, the power of service. What was your understanding of this week's theme, the power of service? And are you living it as ODPP?
I believe we are living it. We are trying to live it. Because ODPP, we have to serve, we are dealing with human beings. Yeah, so we are serving other members of the public who come to us because they need our services. So yes, as ODPP, we are dealing with it, we are working on it, and we are still improving on it. Yes.
Did COVID change how you operate?
Yes, it did. Because as Maureen mentioned, we have been having, they have been having face-to-face interviews, so that had to be limited. Also, when the crowd that would come, we had to have a way of sieving through because it is protecting us and them. So as in, everybody had to take the responsibility. But I'm also happy to say that I have seen a lot of understanding from our clients when they come and maybe they wanted to see a particular person, and especially when COVID was at the peak. And you tell them through the phone that it is not possible due to COVID, but please reach us through this channel. And we saw them doing so. Even now, in as much as we are doing the face-to-face interviews, it is not too much. We try to discourage and encourage more of communication through other channels.
Through other channels.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you believe that we are actually living it, the power of service?
Yes, we are. Because I've seen the cases are moving. Like in our end, we don't have a backlog at all.
Oh,
Yeah, from our end. But
no backlog at all?
no.
Yes.
Yes.
In serikali.
Yeah, we don't have, because we are referring our clients to the relevant. So we've not lumped the work on ourselves, on our part. We are referring them to the agencies that can assist them, and it's working.
And that has been my question. Are the complaints you're getting because people don't understand the mandate?
Yes, they don't understand. Then they believe it's at the ODPP where our problems will be solved.
But because you are our, what is it called, our representative, yeah? So we come to you with all these things.
Yeah, they come to us. Now we are the ones who do the advice bit.
Do you do any community engagements?
As an office, division? No,
not yet.
Not yet.
But it's something I believe that should be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, because it will be good if we engage in sensitizing members of the public. They should know this is how we operate in our office. And if in case you have an issue, this is how you can be assisted. Sensitization.
But this is a platform for sensitization.
Yeah.
So maybe
now
we need to tell them. Yes, tell them.
You don't necessarily have to bring all your complaints to us.
Yeah.
And even if you come and we advise you to go to a specific agency, please cooperate. Because you find that there are those, we send them to other agencies. They go there, they're not assisted. Now they come back to us. Nilienda huko sikusaidiwa, tafadhali simuambie. No, we have our mandate, and we are trying to work within our mandate. Yeah.
And that's why I asked you, I think, at the beginning, and maybe now we can get it clearly. What sort of complaints do you want to see?
We want to see criminal cases. Umechapwa, umeibiwa, someone has obtained money from you. Those are the cases that you can deal.
Mbona nisiende kwa polisi, nikuje ODPP kwanza?
They fear police officers. Most people fear police stations. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So they come to you, nilichapwa, I went there, I have an OB, I'm not being assisted. Now we have to intervene. Like in cases of police officers, we usually intervene. We write to Police Internal Affairs Unit. There's a client who has come to our end. He or she is complaining that he has a case. He has gone to the police station. They're not being assisted. Kindly step in, take over.
Am I in a protected zone when I do that? Because maybe it is my police station back, say in Embakasi, just for this discussion, that is not acting on my case. Will you again send me back to Embakasi?
No, if it's we don't deal with the stations. If you are complaining against a station, we'll not deal with the station. We'll not deal with the OCS or the OCPD of that station. We will deal with the Police Internal Affairs. It has the mandate of handling its officers. So we'll deal with the Internal Affairs Unit. You see, these are your people. Kindly assist this client. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then one other thing that I wish to add to our clients, when you are writing your letters, please put in all your details. Give us your name, give us your address, give us your phone number, give us your email. So that when you are writing letters to these agencies, we also give you a copy.
What if I'm afraid of victimization?
No, you don't. It's your right. This is a public office. It's your right. You don't have to be intimidated. It is your right. This is a free world, you know. And if you feel you are being intimidated, there are other channels. You are being intimidated by a police officer. You are being harassed. Go to Internal Affairs Unit. If the worst comes to the worst, we normally involve the Inspector General, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe to add on that, it is where I would say really, if our client can really seek services for ODPP from the ODPP stations within their area. Because if you came from Kisumu County all the way to Nairobi to launch a complaint on a matter that is within Kisumu, ODPP and quarters will still refer to Kisumu. And while so doing, we are taking time. So we are delaying. But if you had gone ahead and gone to ODPP Kisumu and the prosecutors down there assist you and work with you, then we reduce the time of the service that the time that you receive the service from ODPP. And again, as she mentioned from the very beginning, ODPP, we have a Department of Internal Compliance Unit. Yeah. If you feel dissatisfied, you don't want to deal with, you can do us an email where now we have them getting engaged. You get. But the more you come from Kisumu to end quarter, we delay. It calls for a lot of delay by the time we are responding to your question or attending to your issue. Yes.
Okay. Are you foreseeing a spike in complaints as we get into the election period?
I cannot comment about
Yes.
that.
Yeah? Because I'm imagining then people will come to you with a lot of... What I really want, the key takeout for this discussion actually is, these are the complaints you can bring to ODPP. We would act on them.
Yes.
But these are not the complaints that you should bring. So maybe that is where we need to direct this conversation. Yeah.
Okay, complaints touching on land matters. For instance, you filed a civil suit, an order has been issued, and a police officer is supposed to effect maybe an eviction. In such cases, if the police officer doesn't want to assist you, you can go back and file a court contempt, because that is a civil. Land matters that can be brought to us, mainly they are fraud. If you've been fraud, there's been a fraud. Maybe then there's another confusion. There is this thing of obtaining by false pretense. It's more of a criminal and it's more of a civil matter.
Okay.
So it depends on the circumstances. So obtaining is a two-way thing. It can be civil, it can be criminal. Yes.
Okay.
Then issues to do with employment. If you've been fired by your boss, dues, that one is a civil matter. So the best office to address your matter is the labor office, and you can move to the labor court.
Okay.
Yeah. Then things to do, I think basically those are the issues that we don't handle.
Unaona sasa mtu akikuja akisemaje, nimesikia during election. Nimesikia hate speech inaiva mahali.
That's a criminal, yeah.
See, they come to you.
Yes,
So that's what I meant. Like, it's we are coming, election period is coming.
That is a criminal.
Yes. Yeah, so that you can avert a problem, so to speak. Yes. Yeah, so we are just coming to the end of this discussion. Quite interesting about the power service. So we had Bradley watching, Patrick Chalu following, thank you so much. Ian was watching as well. Luke Guide asked, what is the power of service? We haven't actually talked about that. What has that? What has good customer care brought to you? I mean, what advantage has this brought to the ODPP? Are you working better?
Yes, we are working better, and we are, as I said, we are still improving on it. I feel very delighted when I see somebody coming to do a follow-up, and they have attached a response that came from our office, and you look at when they launched the complaint, because there's a stamp, the date, and when the response was, you can see it is within the period of our standards in terms of response. And now actually they're either adding other information or introducing something totally different altogether. And this person comes and says, Mulinijibu. So I am bringing this. Others will come and say, I was told nikikuja ODPP nitasaindika. Who told you? I was told by somebody who felt happy with how you handled them. So we feel happy knowing that there are those who appreciate or they are happy the cases are moving on. Because you find somebody coming with a different case and saying, but that one inaendelea vizuri, but I have a different issue that has come. It makes you happy to know that these people are happy that they are being served well. Yes.
Yeah. Also, when they send those compliment letters, you're asking.
Yeah, you have a compliment division.
There was if I use the example of that case, there was this lady. I'm sorry to the family. She had an accident. The one was hit on Thika Road by was it a prison officer? It is the office that intervened, and they got justice. And the perpetrator was convicted. The sister to the deceased did a letter to the office. She complimented the office. She said we did that good work, and at least her sister got justice. We were happy with that. Yeah. When we also receive feedback from other agencies, then feel that we are working.
Nice. Yeah. So Juliet Mudura, thank you so much. She says very informative. Mary says she's following. Thank you so much. And then I think somebody, Luke asks again, how can a person who is poor file a civil case, for example, and he can't be able to hire a lawyer? Again, he's addressing a civil matter. Yeah,
that's a civil, but ideally what I can advise him, there are organizations that offer free legal services. There is Kituo cha Sheria. He can seek their services. Yeah, that's where he'll be assisted.
Yeah. Okay. Lillian says great discussions. That's on YouTube. Wangari says great presentation. Thank you. And I think that is it. So does DPP, this one, I'm telling you, your department is about the mandate. And when people don't get it right, then they'll bring you these questions. The same question again. Does DPP deal with civil cases also?
No, it doesn't.
You must say a resounding no.
We purely deal with criminal matters, not civil matters.
Yeah. I think you need to do a lot of sensitization.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you act on all these complaints on social media, or do you sieve which ones? Because a lot of these complaints also come on social media. Hamufanyi, mbona,
So
mbona.
apparently there's someone who handles the Twitter handle and the so
if the complaints come, they send to you?
Basically, the ones that have been sent on email are the ones that
you deal with.
There are people that handle the Twitter handle, and the ones who respond to the ones that have been sent.
They sieve through. They are sieved through.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I think that's it. We have to come to an end. We cannot respond to all these things that people are asking, but they will be responded to by those people who are the experts on standby. Somebody says, Joseph Kimanthi says, well done, colleagues, an excellent discussion. So it's been interesting. Customer service clearly is something people are looking forward to in government. Do you think it is possible to actually achieve 100% satisfaction?
It is.
Really?
Yes. With cooperation, it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's quite something. So we come to the end of this. Thank you so much, ladies. We have questions, but then because of time, they're going to be responded on as we go along.
Yes.
Because the whole thing is throughout the day, throughout the week. They'll always get a response from those who are on standby. We can't respond to everything. But thank you so much for your insights. Go win. I mean, do you have male customer service officers? Do you have male colleagues in your office? Male, yes.
Yeah, we have.
Because you know the common misconception is that customer service PR is for women.
No,
is it?
We have male.
We have them. We have a customer care representative who is a gentleman. He's actually sitting with Maureen in NSSF.
Yeah, Kevin.
Oh,
yes.
Tumia Kevin salamu.
Tukifunga. Kevin, pokea salamu kutoka kwangu, umewakilishwa vizuri.
Yeah, because the misconception is that it's a lady's job.
We have Kevin. We have Kevin in our division.
Yeah.
And you also have Patrick at the customer care.
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah.
Yes.
Umetumiwa salamu?
Tuma salamu.
Pokea salamu, Patrick, umewakilishwa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, before we close,
yes.
When it comes to walk-in clients,
yes.
I will advise them when they are coming to launch their complaints, they don't necessarily have to come to Union House, ODPP House at Ragati.
In Upper Hill.
In Upper Hill. They should come to an SSF building, 19th floor. 19th floor, Block A.
Wakuja kutafute?
That's where we are.
Wakutafute wewe ama department?
We are many. We are many in the division, so they should come. They'll find
There's a department there for complaints.
Yes. Yeah.
And compliments.
Yeah. We are looking forward for their compliments.
Does compliment include lunch?
No. No.
All right. Anyway, so thank you so much once again, and I wish you a very good week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you too.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to an end of this show. We want to thank you for joining us. It's been quite an interesting discussion about the power of service, something we don't really get to see in government. But here there's government and a government agency saying they take customer care very seriously. And a lot of it is about disseminating of information, about helping you handle your complaints that are criminal in nature, not civil. But of course, if you come with something that you don't understand where to take it, they have said them direct to the right office. And of course, you follow your case through with that channel. If you want them to ask the investigative agencies to investigate a matter, then you can definitely come to them. They have provided their contacts for complaints. There's email, there's a telephone number, and of course the social media channels. Like I said earlier, you can slide into the DM if you think it's too sensitive. They protect your identity, but you have to tell them who you are so that they know how to deal with your case and of course respond to you directly. That has been the power of service. It is possible that government agencies can actually provide good customer care. And like the private sector, we said it's not about profits, it's not about revenue, it's not about sales, but it's about information, it's about service. So thank you so much once again, and happy customer week to you. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the week in the discussion. We wish you a nice weekend ahead, and of course, let us meet again in the coming week and see what we shall be discussing. Have a good Friday. God bless. Thank you.